We continue with reproduction in fungi. Reproduction in fungi it takes place by the different methods. One is the vegetative propagation, and second one is the asexual reproduction, and third one is the sexual reproduction. These are the different kinds of reproduction in fungi. We start with the vegetative propagation. The body itself participating in the reproduction. Propagation, that means it is increasing in number. One is, we are now written here, that is a fragmentation. What is meant by fragmentation? Fragments ಮಾಡುವುದು fragmentation. ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಡು ತುಂಡಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನು ಕಳೆದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ I have said that the structure of the body of that fungi is said to be hyphae. Thread-like, tube-like structure is there. We are saying it is known as a hyphae. Hyphae ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. And this hyphae makes the coil network. We are saying the mycelium. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ mycelium ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. If it is the cross walls are there here, we are saying it is a septate one. Septate ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. If the cross walls are absent, aseptate ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. The body is, that means fungi is aseptate. Aseptate ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Here fragmentation, what you are going to be doing, the fragmentation ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ this hyphae cuts into number of times. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೀಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ and each piece is going to developing into a new fungi, new organism and growth ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Hence this kind of reproduction, the increase in number, propagation is said to be fragmentation. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ fragmentation ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. And second one is the fission. Fission, I already said you, it is a dividing. The cell in yeast, we have seen the fission kind of a reproduction. Asexual, that means vegetative propagation. The cell that divides and forms the two, and each one is going to developing into a new organism. Such kind of method is said to be fission. And once again, in yeast example, we are going to be seeing the budding, that means the small outgrowth that takes place from the mother cell. That the small outgrowth develops and retains all the thing, and afterwards, after maturation, it detaches from the mother cell, and that is going to be developing into a new organism. So such one is said to be the budding method. These all comes under the vegetative propagation, the fragmentation, the fission, and the budding. The different kinds of asexual reproduction in, that means vegetative propagation in fungi. In asexual reproduction in fungi, the one we are going to be seeing, that it is called as a conidium. These are the small, the microscopic, unicellular, the organelle cells, and they have a capacity that is going to developing into a new organism. One structure, one example we are going to see, that is a penicillium notatum. It forms the brush-like structure. We are seeing it is called as a conidiophore. Conidiophore ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ conidiophore small structures formation ಆಗ್ತವೆ. This is said to be conidia. ಈ unicellular round structures ಗಳನ್ನು conidia ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. And these conidia germinate and developing into a new organism. So that is by conidia. That means asexual means, as you know, that there is no participation of the male and female gametes. That means only the single parent is involved in the process of reproduction. And one more example we are seeing, that's called as sporangiosperms. Sporangiosperms in mucorally ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. From the hyphae, the fruiting body is going to be developing. Spore bearing structure is called as a fruiting body. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. This fruiting body, the sporangium, contains the sporangiosspores. These are also sporangiosspores are also unicellular microscopic structures, and each sporangiosspores having a capacity of developing into a new organism. See, the sporangiosspores are within the body. The body itself is seen to be the sporangium, and the structure is said to be sporangiophore. Like that conidiophore, here we are saying that sporangiophore ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಕ್ಸುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ zoospores. That asexual reproduction by the conidium, by the sporangiospores, and it is by the zoospores. Usually fungi ಮತ್ತು algaeಗಳಲ್ಲಿ this kind of zoospores are to be observed. These zoospores are the motile ಮತ್ತು asexual structures ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. So because of they have a flagella, with the help of that flagella they are moving. These are produced by the body of that fungi, and each these zoospores are having capacity of developing into a new. ಇದರ ಜರ್ಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. zoospores are also said to be the swarm spore ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. So example, usually in Pythia, this kind of zoospores we are going to be seeing. So this is about asexual reproduction in fungi. So one is the conidia, sporangiospores, zoospores. Okay, and after the completion of this one, I will move to the one more. So that's called the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, how it takes place? It is by the different methods are there. We are going to explain in the future. Sexual reproduction ಹೆಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ 3 ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣಂತೆ. But here it is by production of the oospores. Oospores ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. The different kinds of the methods are there. It is by oospores, it is by ascospores, it is by the basidiospores. So different kinds are there in sexual reproduction. Oospores are the thick walled sexual spore ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. So developed from the fertilized oosphere ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. That is the fusion of two species. oosphere ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎರಡು ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ಗಳ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅದರ ಮೂಲಕ oosporesಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ, and these oospores are going to be developing into a new organism. So that is the one method. And second one is ascospores. So these ascospores are also the sexual spores ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು usually found in mature fruiting body, ascoscarp ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, or we are going to be saying that ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ascus ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Ascus is a sac-like structure. It contains the ascospores. ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ascosporesಗಳು ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, and these ascospores are able to developing into a new organism. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು basidiosspore ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯೂಶಲಿ ಎನಾಸ್ಟೋಸ್, ಮಾಟ್ಸ್, ಮಶ್ರೂಮ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ basidiossporesಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. So these basidiosspores are also the sexual spores. These are formed in the basidium. The structure the basidiosspores holds, that structure is said to be basidium. Basidium ದೊಳಗೆ basidiossporesಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ, and each basidiospore is developing into a new organism. So this is the different kinds of sexual reproduction. It is by the oospores formation of, or the ascospores, or by the basidiospores. How actually sexual reproduction is going to take place, we are going to be seeing in the next clip. Okay. Sexual reproduction, this includes 3 steps. One is called plasmogamy, and second one karyogamy and meiosis. Always sexual reproduction takes place by these 3 steps. And what is meant by the plasmogamy? Plasmogamy itself, the word itself saying that gamy means it is a fusion. Plasma means it is a protoplasma. That means fusion of protoplasma of two motile or non-motile gametes, we are going to be saying that it is known as a plasmogamy. And after the fusion of these two gametes, that means fusion of these protoplasma of these two gametes, the next step is the karyogamy. Karyogamy is the one. Karyo means it is in a nucleus. Once again, the gamy, it is a fusion. That means fusion of two nuclei. ಎರಡು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈಗಳು ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಪ್ರೋಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಗಳು ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮಿಯಾಸಿಸ್ ಇನ್ ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಹೆಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್. ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಡಿವಿಷನ್. ದಟ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮಿಯಾಸಿಸ್. As you know that already, meiosis is also said to be reductional division. Hence, after the formation of the zygote, it undergoes the meiotic cell division and forms the spores. And these spores are developing into a new organism. That's fungi organism. Same procedure is going to be continuing. And I hope it is clear for you how sexual reproduction takes place in fungi. So that occurs in the three steps: plasmogamy, karyogamy, and the meiosis. You are going to be seeing here the hyphae is there, so that is going to be forms. Hyphae forms, that means undergoes the plasmogamy. ಈ plasmogamy ಆದಮೇಲೆ there is a karyogamy and there is a formation of the zygote. Zygote is the diploid, undergoes the meiosis. The spores are formed. These spores are haploid in nature. These spores once again get forms in the new hyphae. The body of the fungi is said to be, so usually the thread-like structure is said to be hyphae, as you know already from the beginning of this fungi. Okay, this type, the class, that means sexual reproduction that occurs in fungi. In sexual reproduction, two haploid hyphae come together and fuse. ಎರಡು ಹೈಫೆಗಳು ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಎರಡು thread like structures. In some fungi, fusion of two haploid cells immediately results the diploid cells. ಕೆಲವು ಫಂಗೈಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. So in ascomycetes ಮತ್ತು basidiomycetes, these are the groups of fungi. A dikaryotic stage or dikaryophase ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. So that occurs. Such condition is called as a dikaryon. ಏನದು dikaryon ಅಂತಂದರೆ, dikaryon means per cell two nuclei are present. ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಹೈಫೆಗಳು ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡೆರಡು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈಗಳು ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಡೈಕ್ಯಾರನ್. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಡೈಕ್ಯಾರಿಯಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಲೇಟರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್. ಮತ್ತು ಸೆಲ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋನ್ ಬಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. So fungi forms the fruiting bodies in which reduction division occurs, leading to the formation of haploid spores. ನೋಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಸೊ ಫ್ರೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಮಿಯಾಸಿಸ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ದೀಸ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ಫಂಗೈ ಬಾಡಿ. This one is method we are going to be seeing in sexual reproduction. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸೆಕ್ಸುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನು ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is three kinds. It is by the vegetative production, propagation and the asexual reproduction. ಸೆಕ್ಸುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಇನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ಬಾಯ್.